In today's video, I'm going to take you through my full day of eating whilst I'm currently here in Marbella. See, everyone wants to know, what does someone actually eat when they stay lean year round? So, today, I'm going to give you the insight as to what I'm eating every single day, each meal, the reasoning behind it. I will also put the calories and the macros up on here on the screen. It's going to be around 3,000 calories I have per day. So I will take you through meal by meal, macro by macro, exactly what I'm having, why I'm having it, and how I set it up to fuel me, to allow the body to recover, and of course be in a position where I can stay nice and lean, around 10% body fat, year round. Before we get into the food, if you like this style of content, make sure you drop the channel a subscription. I'm dropping videos every single week on a Sunday, and if you like this video, drop it a like, drop a comment for anything else that you would like to see, or of course if you have any questions. Throughout this video, I'm going to take you through a framework, right? What you'll see is I do not follow a structured, rigid meal plan, but I do follow some very key guidelines that need to be hit every single day. I do track my macros every single day still, and yeah, I will take you through the full blueprint. Let's get into it. Okay, coffee nailed, electrolytes were also nailed this morning, and I've also had all of my supplementation, which currently, note this down, is omega-3s, creatine, Vit B, Vit C, zinc, Vit D3 and K2. Get all of that on your list. Now, meal one, or breakfast, as most people would call it, we have got, this is an OG meal. If you've been watching the channel, right, from when I was posting a year and a half ago, right, this has basically been my staple every single morning. It is 3 eggs, we've got 50 grams worth of feta that's gonna go in, we've got spinach, obviously full of your micronutrients and everything like that, and then we're also gonna have 1 bagel. Now, if I'm in the UK or if I'm in Dubai, truthfully, I will have sourdough, just because it sets a little bit better, or sits a little bit better, and it's a little bit better on the gut than a bagel, for example. However, I can't source any decent sourdough out here. Now, the reason why I like to have this as my first meal is because it sets me up for the morning, right? Biggest thing that you'll see is some people will have like a big, super high carb breakfast, say for example, like a bowl of cereal, and then all of a sudden, blood sugar levels spike, and then poof. So, I like to have high protein, quite high fats, to be honest with you. I believe this meal is around 30 grams, and then some moderate carbohydrates. So, I'll put all of the calories, all of the macros for this first meal on the screen. Let's get it cooked up. Okay, so breakfast is served. Easy as that. That is, to be honest with you, like a 10-minute meal, 5-10 minute meal in the morning that is really going to set your day up so well. So the finished product, et voila. So I am actually going to go and eat this, and then I need to get into a really big check-in block, and I'm actually going to go to a coffee shop because I need to go and get my head down. So that will be, it's currently 9:22, that's when I've had my first meal. So I'm going to eat this, get to a coffee shop, and then lock in, man, basically. And then, of course, come back, have a snack, and then I'll then guide you through the rest of my meals for the day. We're training today, so we are really getting to it. Okay, touchdown to Pizza for a coffee. Little iced Americano. What's that? 4 calories, if that. Iced Americano, and we're locked in for a big work block. Big block of client check-ins, but I mean, I know this is a full day of eating, but can we just appreciate that? Like, has my life got to a position where I just do work blocks looking over Marbella like this? But apparently it has. So I'm gonna knock out about 20 check-ins, and we're gonna get straight back into the next meal. Catch you in the next one. I'm gonna sip on this iced Americano. Taste test. 7 out of 10. It's coffee and water, mate. Hello, we are back in the gaff and we are home for a post-work block into next work block snack. Now, the idea of this meal slash snack is to keep me ticking over in between work blocks. It needs to be quick, it needs to be efficient, right? So that I can get it done, eat, and then of course into my next work block. So what have we got? We have got Greek yogurt meal. So we will be having 300 grams worth of 0% fat-free Greek yogurt. We'll be having 100 grams worth of frozen blueberries. We will be having 20 gram worth of 70% dark chocolate. And then we'll also be having some chia seeds, okay? And then a little bit of honey as well, which I'm running quite low on. Now, like I said, this needs to be quick, this needs to be efficient, okay? And I can put this together in literally like 2 minutes. High in terms of protein, very high in terms of fiber as well. So again, it's just gonna, well, obviously help in terms of like gut health, etc., but more so keep me full, okay? And truthfully, on 3,100 and I think 65 calories I'm on today, you gotta eat pretty frequently. That's just the way it goes. So yeah, I'm gonna make this, I'm gonna eat this, and then we will get into the next work check block, the next work check block, the next check-in block, the next work block, and then crack on until we go to the gym. And then of course we'll take you through the pre-workout meal. Voila. Now, this is a meal that for, let's say for a lot of clients, I'll actually get them to have it across the day as like a snack, but majority of them, if I put them onto this meal, it's like, okay, get this in as like your final meal, your final snack of the day. Why? Well, it's almost like a little bit of a mini dessert, right? A little bit sweet. And again, with the additional fiber that kind of goes within that, again, it's just going to help keep them full, keep them ticking over. It's almost like a little treat towards the back end of the day. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to go and eat this. And then of course, we will be back for a pre-workout meal. We've got legs today. Ugh. Hey mate, hope it is good. Of course, thanks very much for the check-in. Thank you for the rundown. Hope you're having a fantastic Monday so far. And of course, we've been able to manage the hunger very, very well across this week. So I'm very, very happy with that. Okay, so some time has passed and we are back in the kitchen. Now, second check-in work block done. And it's now time for the official pre-workout meal, of which is gonna be oats, 50 gram worth of oats, 30 gram worth of whey protein powder, which by the way, I had to buy this one here. I ran out of the Perform one that I had. I mean, this is, let's leave it at that. 100 gram worth of blueberries, again, 1 banana, and then 10 gram worth of honey, 10 gram worth of 70% dark chocolate, and then a key ingredient to your pre-workout meal, salt. 1 gram worth of salt there, which is gonna help in terms of course, from a hydration standpoint, but it also helps in terms of essentially your pump, right? Pulling, of course, fluid into the muscle cells, which of course is going to create a better pump. Now, I've got lower, so I need a good fuel in beforehand, okay? And the macros, or the calories, should I say, for this meal are actually only 547, but it's 85 gram worth of carb, 9 gram worth of fat, 30 grams worth of protein, okay? Now, of course, I'm sure as a lot of you will know, but you want to really focus on placing your carbohydrates in and around your training window. Okay, of course, within this here, still a decent protein hit, but my bigger protein hit will come post-workout. Moderate amounts in terms of fats, but what I've also got here is 85 grams worth of carbs. There's a lot of carbohydrates going in before I train to help fuel my training session, because you need that, right? Like, your carbohydrates are your body's primary energy source, okay? So I know oats, of course, will take a little bit longer to release, but I also have those because I've got to now walk to the gym in 28-degree heat. So that's no cakewalk, basically, is what I'm saying here. So I need that to last me. And yeah, I'm going to make these oats. I'm going to eat these oats. I'm going to walk to the gym, get another espresso. It's 25 to 3, so I need to make sure I get that in before 3 o'clock. And I'll train it around 3:30. And yeah, allow an hour or so for this to kind of go down, and we'll be good to go, man. So I will see you eating this, grabbing coffee, or in the gym. Okay, protein oats have been created. That is what I like to call the one. So, like I said, 85 grams of carb going in before I train. We've got a big lower session on the cards. And I'm also going to finish the rest of this
which is around a litres worth of water, alongside, like I said, an espresso. So it's a training session without some caffeine. And then that'll bring me to around 3 litres before I train. Again, the better your hydration before you train, the better your session's going to be. So a little tip for you in there as well. So yeah, let's get this down the hatch. Let's get in that gym and let's go and do some damage.
Side note, 3,100 calories and I am still scraping the bowl. It's a hard life, having some muscle, carrying a good amount of muscle, being physically fit and doing loads of training, ain't it? How'd you do it on 2,000 calories? God knows. Anyways, let's get in that gym.
Okay, we are on the way to the gym now. Caffeine acquired. We've got a double espresso on ice. Yep. It is way too hot to be drinking a hot coffee right now. And I'm gonna take the piss here a little bit. It is 3:15 and a double espresso going in. How am I gonna sleep tonight? No. In all seriousness though, you should have a cut-off time for your caffeine, right? Because caffeine's got a half-life, and if you want to sleep better, you can't be consuming caffeine too late. So what my cut-off is 8 hours before I go to sleep. So I am 15 minutes late, but you want it to be, so for me, obviously I go to bed at, or I go to sleep at 11, get up at 7. So you want to be cutting that off around 8 hours beforehand. So if you go to sleep at 10, obviously you can do the maths, you'd be cutting your caffeine off at 2. So again, if you do train in the later afternoon or in the evening, you just got to avoid the caffeine. Maybe you want to get in a solid like pump pre-workout product, but truthfully, you just want to make sure you're really well hydrated, really well fueled, and then of course get in and get after the session. But I'm going to see this off, and then we're going to get stuck into some legs.
We are back from the gym, and that was a tasty leg session, actually. Feels good a lot of the time just to train, get in, train hard. Of course, as you saw, there was some more movement-based stuff in there as well. But yeah, man, training's progressing very, very nicely right now, as it should be with the amount of food I'm on. Gaffer has got me on a lot of food right now. So I'm feeling good, I'm recovering well, and I'm getting stronger week by week. So happy days. I think that can be what a lot of people get kind of like trapped into or sucked into, is when you want to stay lean all the time, just having food too low. Like, no, you actually need to be in a position where you are recovering, you are progressing, you are this, you are that. That's actually how you make the improvements still. So now we have the largest meal, which is the post-workout meal, which is 300 grams worth of chicken breast, 100 grams worth of rice, and then we have got half of this salad, which I will show you in a second, that has some feta, some walnuts, some raisins, some apple. It is banging. 10-10 from Mercadona. Queso de cabra from Mercadona. If you're ever in Marbella, get on that. So I'm gonna whip this up. We've got 83 gram worth of protein, 94 gram worth of carb, 11 gram worth of fat. Obviously it is a very, very large protein hit, but I like to have a lot of protein after I train because I'm very, very hungry. And of course, spiking like muscle protein synthesis post-workout is exactly what we need to do. And then of course, we've got white rice going in post-workout. Again, it digests very, very quickly. 94 gram worth of carb. Again, it's gonna replenish those glycogen stores very, very quickly. So aiding recovery, making sure there's no muscle protein breakdown. So there we have it. Let's whip it up. Right, chicken is cooking away. Salad is already served up, as of course you can see. Now, you'll see these bad boys. king of convenience over here. If you think that I am gonna cook rice from scratch every single day, you have got me absolutely twisted. I need to save time. I know they're not quite as good for you, but you know what? I can truthfully live with that. Now, a little bit of a tip for you, right? When it comes to what I like to say is always make sure that you've got some protein prepped in the fridge. Now today, I didn't. However, what I will be doing, or what I have now done, is I've cooked 2 portions worth. So tomorrow, I've then got it super easy. I can then heat it up in the microwave, and then it's going to save me a hell of a lot of time, to be honest with you. So yeah, that's Ryan's tip of the day. Always double cook or batch cook. Now truthfully, I don't really like reheating chicken too much or whatever, because it goes a little bit dry, but you know, when you're busy, needs must and all that. So I'm gonna dish this up and then we are gonna eat it, basically. This is a big meal.
Okay, so food is served. We have got, like I said, 300 gram worth of chicken breast. We've got the salad, and then we've got 100 grams worth of uncooked weight rice, which is 250 cooked weight. I'm gonna nail this. Exactly what I need post-workout. And again, like I was mentioning earlier, you need to make sure that you get a good carb hit, good protein hit post-workout. But again, a rice-based product is perfect. And again, it's because it digests very quickly. And again, why you'll see a lot of people, especially like bodybuilders, have things like cereal post-workout, okay, or Cocoa Pops post-workout. Rice-based product digests very quickly. But that is no longer me. Oh my God, what has gone off with the hair here? I'm gonna eat this, and then we've got I need to shower, and we've got a final work block to get into, final check-ins, and we've got some calls this evening. So see you in a bit. Right, we are outside for final work block. We are showered, we are freshened up, and that means it is time for our final snack of the day before our final meal. So pineapple, 200 grams, and then also some chocolate rice cakes. Both of those out here are an absolute joke. The pineapple out here in Spain is unbelievable, and these rice cakes are also top, like top. So no real reason other than I need more calories and I need to get a good amount of carbohydrates in at the moment, to be honest with you. But little fun fact, pineapple has a digestive enzyme called bromelain within it, which actually helps break down protein. So, you know, not only is it absolutely banging, but of course there's some of the benefits to it as well. So I'm gonna get stuck into these, get this final work block done, and then we will have the final meal. We're really ready to crack on, and you know the motto, sorry, should I say, we never miss a Monday. Never fucking miss a Monday. We get after it, okay, and we set that tone for the week. And that is final meal time. We have got a lamb burger, we've got 300 gram worth of sweet potato, which looks dry as hell, and then we've got 100 gram worth of veggies. So that is capping off a final meal, and truthfully it's nothing too heavy, to be honest with you. 520 calories, 29 gram of protein, 15 fat, and 65 gram worth of carb. Now, I didn't even know that I liked lamb burgers until I came out here, and truthfully, when I was picking them off the shelf, I actually thought it was a beef burger, but there we go. And the reason I actually picked them off the shelf as well is because they're only 15 grams of fat per lamb burger. Now, the beef out here is so fatty, you can't get 5% beef mince, you can't get lean burgers or anything like that. So I picked that up because it was like leanest, and turns out it was lamb. But now it's basically a daily staple of mine. So yeah, I'm gonna eat this, get stuck in, and then we will see the video out. Okay, so that is the full day of eating wrapped up. And as you've seen, there is a big variety in foods here. There is also a lot of food going on in here. We've got 3,165 calories to cap the day, 221 protein, 86 fat, and then 379 carb. That is what I'm currently eating to help me maintain around 10% body fat, help me perform well, train well, and of course recover well, and be in a position where I can just feel good all round. And as you've seen here, right, like there isn't any restriction
really. I just truthfully like eating whole foods for the majority of the time. So generally what I like to follow is like a 90-10 split when it comes to whole foods, and that's what works for me. There's no meal plan. I do track all of my food, but honestly, this is what works for me and has worked for me now for the last year or so. You know, whilst I'm in a position right now where my focus is on moving better, it's performing better, it's doing everything like that, we're fueling for it, man. That is for sure. So if you found this useful, make sure you drop the video a like, drop a comment for anything else that you would like to see across the channel, or any more details obviously off the back of this video. And as you know, I'm dropping new videos every single Sunday, so make sure that you drop the channel a subscription, and I will see you in the next one. See you soon.